Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, hosted by two nationally published Atlanta interior designers, Joanne Kandrak and Kelly Cole. These energetic women are also world travelers, charity givers, and bloggers with a wealth of information to share and stories to tell about the interior design world. Okay, now just a warning, this is going to be fun and not too serious. After all, they still do have an interior design business running at full speed.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. This is Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, and this is episode 54. We are talking today about Design Hounds and Signature Kitchen Suite. So what that means exactly is we're just back from a week in Napa Valley, California, where we were invited as special guests of Design Hounds and Signature Kitchen Suite to be a part of a 3-day brand immersion trip where we learned all about the new SKS showroom, which is a brand of luxury appliances that are an arm of LG.
So we've talked about Modenas before, and so we've been very fortunate to be a part of this group, Design Hounds, who travel the country and post things that are design-oriented and things that they see. So it's all headed by a woman named Veronica Eagleson. She does an incredible job. She curates a large network of design professionals who share, we share our best practices, what we find, product knowledge, all via social media and about their own design businesses. And so these designers, and I guess we are considered too, right? Micro influencers who align with brands like Signature Kitchen Suites with truly relevant audiences to us. And so we only just don't make homes look pretty. We do a lot of other things around here too.
Yeah. So that's kind of like part one. If you have heard us talking about, we've been with Veronica and her group, Modenas and Design Hounds, to Milan. We've been to the Kitchen and Bath Show in Orlando and in Las Vegas. And so we really love to be invited on these trips and these brand immersion experiences. So this trip was sponsored by Signature Kitchen Suite. And Signature Kitchen Suite is a luxury brand line from LG. So they have this new showroom in Napa that we visited that was a 2.5-year dream in the making. And seriously, don't you think it was one of the most impressive showrooms that we've ever seen? It was,
and we've seen a lot.
I mean, they had a complete appliance playground, like every appliance that LG and Signature Kitchen Suite sells. They had this huge kitchen for in-house cooking demonstrations and training. They had a beautiful conference room. They had this amazing dining room and this killer bar. And so the SKS team really wined and dined us. But what I thought was really the most unique and heartwarming part of it all was that they told us their story.
Yeah, and it is, I mean, people can create beautiful products and whatever, but what's behind it all? And I think that's what makes you a little more connected with the brand. And so the storytelling that what they do is before they sell you an appliance, they do tell you their story. And one of their big
mantras,
is something they've coined called True to Food. So if you go to their website, which is signaturekitchensuite.com, you can watch this film series, which is all about the deep respect they have for food, where it is sourced. They're fairly quick. They're great. You'll see stories about cheesemakers. That was a really cool. Like you would think, well, what about a cheesemaker? But this one, you have to see the story. Bread makers, fishermen, vineyard owners, and more. It's so cool. So if you do have a deep respect for food, where it comes from and who grows or produces it, then it makes sense that you would continue that respect for how you cook the food. And that is what SKS is all about.
And I think that's a really important thing to think about. We live in this really fast-paced life and we're eating junk all the time. And if you really know the story of the person or the small family farmer or the company that grew that food for you or produced that wine or produced that cheese over time, then you have to cook it in a way that continues that respect. You have a responsibility to do so. And that's kind of where Signature Kitchen Suite has built this true to food story that I think really appeals to a lot of people right now. So while they're doing their research, and they've done a lot, and they're looking at the generational, they look at millennials and Z, Y, all the different groups that are out there right now. And they have coined another term called Technicurean. And I thought this was really interesting as well. So they believe that being on top of technology is a luxury experience. So,
and I really think it is.
Well, all you have to do is really look at the love around Tesla, and I think you see the right.
Yep.
So they believe that people are willing to pay more for performance and technology. So they coined this word, and really it's for those people that are passionate about food and technology together. Which, if you think about it, these are my kids.
Well, this is the way it's going.
Yeah, this is the way it's going.
We've talked about this several times. KBIS, every time we go or every time we hear about what's happening, technology is always, always at the forefront.
Yeah. So now they have this new word called Technicureans. And if you think about it, when I was growing up, and I'm sure you were the same way, did we even have Well, first of all, we didn't eat out as much as we do because my mom's made dinner every night. And we didn't have the incredible restaurants that we have now. My kids are in their 20s and they're such foodies. Well, and of course, they're totally born and raised on technology. So this term makes perfect sense. But when I need to know a nice restaurant in a city, I call my kids.
Yeah, they are all about it. My daughter lives in Charleston, and she's one of the biggest foodies for someone who was the pickiest eater, as a child. So anyway, but there's something that we learned that I had never heard of before, but many people have. It's called sous vide, and it's pronounced sous vide, but it is spelled SOUSVIDE, which in French means under vacuum. All right, so this is kind of crazy. This is a cooking technique where food is vacuum sealed and then it's submerged in water and slow cooked at this constant precise temperature until it's perfectly cooked. So for example, you won't see that gray pink radiant in your meat because it's cooked evenly from edge to edge. You can cook chicken, fish, eggs, and vegetables all sous vide. So SKS, this is what's really kind of cool. They are the only brand to incorporate a sous vide built into the cooktop range. Now you can get these, they're called wands, and you can cook it that way. But this is built right into this amazing range. So there's several ways that you can cook on their ranges. So there's the sous vide, there's induction, gas, griddle, true convection, and steam. And so this range comes in 36 and 48. So if you are a culinary...
Well, and even if you're not, even if you're just a Technicurean.
Yes. There you go. This is where it does it all.
And I don't think I told you this, but I was telling my daughter, Emery, who's 25, and her boyfriend, they live in Chicago. And I was like, so, we went to Napa and we learned all about this new cooking way.
Of course they knew, right?
And Emery goes, Mom, yeah, totally. When we went to the French cooking class that we just did, we cooked our meat sous vide. And I'm like, yeah, of course you did. Of course you went to a French cooking class where you prepared 4 courses and you cooked on sous vide and you're 25 years old. Okay.
But I did find out that a lot of caterers do this. So that
really?
everything, because it's cooked really, there's not a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's very consistent.
Yeah. Well, I like my meat medium rare and you don't. And so and you know how a lot of times when meat is cooked, as you get to the middle, it gets pinker, redder, and that completely grosses you out. I like it. But so if you ordered your meat fired up and burnt like you like it,
like a hockey puck,
my
husband says,
then you would get it all the way through, and that would be good for you.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but here's the other thing. SKS does amazing things with refrigeration too. And I thought this was so cool, and I want this so badly in my house. So you can choose columns, okay? And then you put your columns together. So for example, they sell a freezer column, and that column is 18 inches wide, or you can get it 24 inches wide, or you can get it 30 inches wide. And then you can pick your refrigerator column to go with it. So those come in 24 and 30 inch wide, or you can get a French door fridge that's 36. So what's cool is they also have wine columns. All right. So you can join this in too. So they just debuted their 18-inch wide wine column that holds 71 bottles, and their 24-inch wide wine refrigerator that holds 113. And they have this, what they call, we learned so much.
I know, we really did.
They have this wine cave technology that mimics the wine preservation of historic old world caves. And what that means is a consistent temperature, little to no vibration, no light. So it was just so cool.
Yeah.
I want one.
Of course, being in Napa Valley, it's all about the wine. The wine is a subject that, I mean, it's really
fascinating.
Amazing what it takes to create the wine and how much is involved with it. So we had really so many learning moments in the days that we were there.
Oh, yeah.
The technology part of it, though, it's almost...
It's bar none. It's unbelievable how these companies, and this is what these brand immersion workshops are like. You just dive in and you learn all about a subject that maybe you just kind of knew on the peripheral, knowledge, but
yeah, I mean, if you're an accountant and you go to the office, you're not going to know about this kind of stuff.
But once you start learning,
once you start to learn, so all right, so SKS sells 120 LG products, and they are all Wi-Fi compatible or Wi-Fi connected.
I think they sell more than that, but the 120 are Wi-Fi. Yeah.
So if you want every one of your appliances to be connected to your home system, phone, or iPad, you can do it.
Yeah.
This means that you can have the ongoing monitor of your appliances because of this online connectivity.
So there's a lot of cool stuff they have that I thought was, this is a startup company. They refer to SKS as a startup company, and what they did is they brought together a whole group of people that have been in the industry with over more than 600 hours of experience. And they kind of sat down and they said, okay, how can we be peerless in our industry? How can we do things that nobody else is doing? And one of the things that they do is they have a 5-day repair or replace guarantee on their products within the 3-year warranty period. No questions asked.
3-year warranty.
Can you imagine?
3-year warranty.
3-year warranty.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's 2 years. And then when you register your products, you get the 3rd year. But I mean, oh my God.
The other thing is, and this is a pain point for a lot of people, is when you buy one of their appliances, you have a single point of contact for your product once you register. So you do not have to suffer through this automated cycle of, press this button for this, press that button for that. So it's just meant to make it very easy. And they wanted to do things that nobody else is doing.
We bought, when we moved and downsized to our Woodstock home, we did this whole outdoor living thing, and we have a wine fridge out there. And it's been 3 years, but I think probably a year ago, our wine fridge went out. And I'm keep telling my husband, come on, you've got to call. He's like, it's out of warranty. There's nothing they can do. I'm like, well, you still need to call and at least talk to them about it. He's like, Kelly, seriously, I've read, and I'm thinking, well, geez, we should have spent the extra money to have the service because now we have to go buy a whole new one. And I'm so mad about it. Yeah. So speaking of that, the average repair time for SKS is 3 days. So, and they have 24/7 service. Can you imagine? You're, calling at midnight.
If that wine fridge is out, you can't. You can't be waiting. Yeah. You got to come check that out at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
having a wine emergency. So some of the other cool things that we wanted to just let you know about that are different. So the 48-inch range has an articulating handle that helps you open and close the oven door.
That's huge. My mom has a decor oven in her home in New York, and it's beautiful. But she's 75, and it's a very, very heavy door. And when she has to bend all the way down to open and close it, it really hurts her back. So
let's go back to the design smarts.
Yeah, design smarts.
There we go, design smarts.
Mitzi would like that.
Then this other cool part is that column refrigerator. Mm-hmm. It's built so that you can refit any built-in refrigerator without tearing down cabinets.
That's huge.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So imagine you're like, wow, Kelly and Joanne, that was a cool podcast. Let me go research, SKS, but I don't want to redo my whole kitchen and, pop out that current refrigerator that you've got and stick in 2 columns and without doing all this retrofitting. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that convertible drawer in the refrigerator? Okay, this is so cool. So, like my refrigerator at home, I have the French doors, and then I have a little drawer, and then I have the freezer drawer. So they have something similar to that, but that little drawer that's kind of in the middle is a convertible drawer. So you can set it for whatever you want it to be.
Whether we want it to be a refrigerator or a freezer.
Yeah, it can be a freezer, but you can set the temperature to how you want it to serve what you're doing. So,
How great
for example,
is that?
if you need beverages,
Yeah.
it would be at 33 degrees. If you want it to be a meat drawer, you set it to 29 degrees.
So yeah, let's just say you're having a big Memorial Day party. You are making steaks and you have a bunch that aren't going to fit. You just put them right in there and then you go cook them and then you can, it's so smart.
It's very smart.
And then the drawers in the refrigerator, they move so easily. They have LED lights that move with it. The bins pop out to clean them. None of this like trying to get that bin out of there. They slide right out.
See, these are things that I never even noticed about my refrigerator. So I don't have a LG or an SKS refrigerator. But the other thing that they have is in the back of the refrigerator, it's flat. There's no vents and bump outs
Screws
and all this kind of stuff. So, and the LED light, like if you go home and you look in your refrigerator, the lights are probably up top, whereas these LED lights run along the front line of each shelf. So if you move the shelves to accommodate whatever you've got in your fridge, it's always super well lit. I love that.
When
you would never think of that probably if somebody didn't bring it to your attention as an option.
Well, and it's one of those things where this is kind of where the luxury comes in. Like when you purchase, a really well-made, high-end sofa and you sit in it. Every time you sit in it, it's like, This is one of those things. When you open up that refrigerator, it just feels like
you want to start
top
cooking
of the line.
some great meal.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the experience and the seamless way that the things move, and it's unbelievable. I
think probably of everything. Well, no, there were so many things, but so if you buy a wine column and a set from SKS, you get this thing called the True Sommelier app. Okay. This app is the coolest thing I've ever heard of. So obviously it's on your phone or your iPad. It will catalog your wines in your wine column, in your personal little cellar there that you've got. It recognizes your labels. You can organize your wine column to have different cellars, however you wish. So if you say, well, this is my Napa cellar, or this is my Tuscany cellar, or what have you. It learns your preferences so that and those of your friends and your frequent guests, so that if you are out of a certain wine, it will let you know. I just still can't get over this. And if you are going to a certain restaurant, you can plug that in and it will tell you, based on the brands that you prefer that are always in your personal wine column at home, what wines that restaurant offers that are similar.
Come on.
I'm serious. I mean, I don't think you can have the True Sommelier app. I think it's part of SKS and it goes with their appliances. Like, I don't think you can just go and get it. Sorry, folks. But I was amazed.
Yeah, this is what I love. These are the kinds of things that they created to make themselves different.
Yes.
And so if you are a true wine, and there's a lot of wine people, this is amazing.
I mean, that just blew my mind. I'm sorry. That was just fantastic, especially because I'm a picky wine drinker. So
okay, so the other thing we did aside was, as they were, showing us the area, we went to the Culinary Institute of America, which
is in Napa.
You almost need to go onto their website to see what they have. Is they have the Chuck Williams Museum, who was
Williams-Sonoma. Which I never
And
knew that it was Williams
Neither did I.
from Sonoma,
Neither
California.
did
I never knew that.
Neither did I.
Okay.
So if you go onto the site and they have, I don't even, when you see a collection of something, you know, it's kind of amazing to see all things grouped. There are, I don't even know the number. Maybe it would say it on the website. I couldn't even tell you
was
how many
thousands, I think.
copper Jell-O molds.
Oh,
like
yeah.
You think, but they're lining the walls and they're on there. They're so cool. All these different, and they're all like a lot of vintage ones. Utensils, ribbon
Soup
things to make
tureens.
candy. Actually, if you go onto our Facebook page, you will see we did a video and we've been posting some things from that trip. This Culinary Institute is like nothing I've ever seen.
Well, what happened was, so Chuck Williams, before he passed, he donated his personal collections to the Culinary Institute, and they created a museum. And so his collections are behind glass, and they're all grouped. So, for example, well, first when you walk in, there's a wall that's probably, I would say, 12 feet high by 15 wide, maybe, of copper molds. So for bread or for anything,
Like the bundt cake.
and they're all hung on the wall in this. There's got to be at least 1,000 of them, and they're all different shapes, and most are copper, some are silver, and then behind the glass is collections of, like I said, like beautiful sterling silver soup tureens and teapots and oh my gosh, there's a whole glass cabinet of rolling pins that are, all through the ages, the decades of time. And it's the most beautiful culinary collection I've ever seen.
It's not super huge, but every single area is like artwork within itself. I just kept walking around. I took so many pictures in there.
You know who would love that is our client, Becky, who has all those pieces from her mom and her grandma that are in her house that we hung on the wall for her, like bread tins and rollers and weird stuff that was very vintage, but in a collection on the wall, looked really, really cool. So that was a great experience. Besides the fact that we also got taken to the Arteza winery and got to see how all of their French oak wine barrels and how they produce and what their vineyards look like. And
unfortunately, it was a chilly, rainy couple of days. It was so beautiful even then. But it's such a beautiful part of the country, and it's so unique.
It was surreal. I was so
It reminded
calm
me
there.
of Tuscany a little bit.
It totally did.
It really did. I think the climate is, very similar. And anyway, it was really, really an amazing trip.
So like we said, seriously, SKS did not sponsor this podcast. They did sponsor our trip, obviously, but we're not obligated to come onto the podcast and tell you all about it. But truly, we were blown away. And I wish that before I did my lake house, I had known. But if you're thinking about doing a remodel or new construction, definitely ask your local peeps about LG and SKS, because I think you'll be incredibly impressed with the innovation that they have.
Well, I think it says a lot about them taking all of this information from, because they wanted our feedback. There were 13 people there that were a part of it, what they call the design council, and they speak with them and ask them questions. What do you think about this? Or most of these people are kitchen and bath designers and live and breathe kitchens, and so they
were there with us.
Yeah, they want feedback. They want to know what people want, and I really think they're going to succeed because just the way they're approaching it, I think, is really, really impressive.
Yes. And look up their showroom in Napa. If you are a Technicurean or you are a culinary expert or you're just fascinated by appliances, like I wish my husband had been there, he would have geeked out. Give them a call and see if you can come visit their showroom, because you can see all the offerings that they have, and or you can even see a cooking lesson or whatever. It would be a great field trip.
And
totally worth it.
They love it. It's an experiential type showroom, and they love to show. I think you can read about something, you can listen to us, but when you actually see something, that makes a difference for
Yep.
me.
Yeah.
For me, it does.
It was a total blast. So we wanted to share that with you because, like we always say, you don't know what you don't know. And once somebody brings something to your attention, you start looking at things. You're going to open your refrigerator now and you're going to be like, wow, the lighting's not so great. And these drawers are hard to clean. And I can't change the temperature for certain things. And I wish this refrigerator was bigger. And oh man, I'd love a wine column, But now you'll start thinking about it and know that these options really do exist because you need to be true to your food.
Yes.
Right?
And it's like a staycation.
Yeah.
I mean, when you can cook that way in your own kitchen.
Yeah, no
and,
kidding.
And entertain. I mean, it's,
Yeah. So good. So we wanted to share that with you. All right. So time to end with our quotes.
Okay. What do you want?
You do the funny one.
Okay. Next time someone gets upset with you for being 15 minutes late, remind them we live in the South, the home of tornadoes, 6 types of venomous snakes, 100-degree temperatures, deadly spiders, insanely high humidity, alligators, hurricanes, sharks, and a plant called kudzu that will swallow you up if you're not looking. So, forget being late. It's a miracle we're alive.
That is hilarious. And, we are setting records. It's Memorial Day weekend, about to be. Here, we're recording this a little bit early than you're going to listen to it. And it's going to be 95 degrees today. And my parents are visiting from New York. And they're going to be like, what the hell is this, Kelly? It's awful.
It's the South.
Yeah. So we're lucky to be alive. All right. Here's your inspirational quote for the day. Be that girl or boy who roots for the other girl, tells a stranger her hair looks amazing, and encourages other women to believe in themselves and their dreams. I thought that was perfect because when we were in Napa, we were there with 22 other designers, all women, and we were those.
Yeah.
We were those encouraging girls because we were all talking to each other about our businesses, better practices,
Helping each
products
other.
that
Yeah.
we know and love that maybe others don't know about, and it's all about that.
It's all about relationships. It was a really great bonding experience. It will be one of those highlights of my interior design career, I will say.
Sure.
I will say.
So thank you to Modenas and Design Hounds. If you want to Google that group and they're all over social media, you'll see how much there is to offer. They're an incredible resource, especially for designers. So that's it.
That's it.
I know. That was quick. I could talk about that forever.
No.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for listening. Have a great day.
See you. Bye.
Join Joanne and Kelly weekly for a lively conversation about trends, travels to industry events, current design projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do's and don'ts, product recommendations, and more. Be sure to follow the fun on Facebook. They're on Instagram at Kandrak-Cole, and of course, you've got to visit them online at kandrak-cole.com for more information.